sometimes I'll ask Zeb, I'll be like, who would you, if you had to have sex with either Pizza the Hut or Jabba the Hutt, who would you pick?
And
So that
says,
question goes to both of you as well.
I know you'll know where we were when. I know you'll know where we were when.
Hello, and welcome to Where We Were When, a podcast where we look back at the most memorable movie-going experiences of our youth and eat candy. I'm your host, Heidi Gardner, and I'm joined, as always, by my brother, Justin Gardner. Hi, Justin.
Hey, Heidi. How are you this week?
I'm doing great this week. I can't complain. How are you?
Doing fantastic. The weather's beautiful, and I can't wait to talk about inline skating in cinema. The two
Yes.
join together.
Well, we have a really special guest today who actually knows a lot about inline cinema. He's a friend of mine because he's actually a cast member on Saturday Night Live. We're like part of the same team. His name is Andrew Dismukes. And hi, Andrew.
hello, hi. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Thanks for being here. I realized that I said your name before I said your accomplishments.
That's okay. I lead with the name, pre-accomplishments.
Because probably people know that with the name, they already know the accomplishments
flood in. They say,
Yes.
yeah, runner
I'm
up.
going to say them anyways, just in case there's like a non-Dismukes stalker or fan, you know. But Andrew started SNL in 2017, and he immediately had some really great sketches. To name a couple, there were the Fliplets, Floribama Shore, which we actually wrote together with our buddy Luke
a
Knoll.
Gardner, Dismukes Knoll joint.
Yes. You also had two of my like favorite sketches ever and like instant classics with Brothers and Del Taco Shoot.
Aw, man, I'm all out of cash. No, it's like, aw, man, I'm all out of cash. Aw, man, I'm all out of cash. Sort of like, aw, man, I'm all out of cash.
Oh, yeah.
And then this season, you ended the season with a real banger of a sketch, Pictures with Dad.
Wow. Yeah. And you were great in it. Everybody killed it. Yeah. Fun sketch. Fun season. You had a great season too, Heidi.
Thanks, Andrew. That means a lot. I was really excited to be a part of Pictures with Dad. Is that something that dads really do?
Yes, unfortunately. Where I grew up, especially, I encountered it a lot. It's supposed to be a funny bit.
Lots of shotgun to the nuts.
Reference. Well, I don't know that ever happened. They don't. Yeah. The things dads do isn't shoot their dick off, but they do hold the gun up in the prom pictures, threatening to murder a child is what they do. So that's cool.
It's a good bit. It's a good bit.
Yeah, very funny Texas dad thing. You're from Texas, right?
Yes. Lots of dads in Texas do that.
Very cool. Now the way that Justin
first, can I real quick? I just want to, Andrew. I believe I've got a favorite Andrew Dismukes sketch.
Oh wow.
Didn't you do the one where you were the hands of the dog?
I didn't write that one, but I was the hands of the dog.
You were okay. That is
cast in that. That's a Mikey Day. That's a Streeter Seidel Mikey Day joint.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I have never seen a dog that was more convincingly had human hands than that. I mean, that was, it just to this day is stunning work.
Wow.
Really.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
They were like, we chose you because you have freakishly long arms and a small body, so I could get inside the hoodie with the dog.
I don't know if we'll do this. Like, and you can be inside of it. Yeah, I don't know if we'll like show that, but the image of these hands, just putting together this sandwich, it was amazing. Was that 2017 or was that 2018?
I think that was 2018. I think that was my second season.
2018. Okay. Sorry, I had to mention that because I remember that you had like mentioned that on Twitter as a high point, and I love it.
Yeah, I think
I-
that's the reason they moved me to cast. They were like, "Wow,
I think
this
so.
guy's got
Mhm.
something."
Yeah, you just had. You know what? You don't have to. No audition.
hmm I'm the
Just-
hand guy.
You got it.
They were like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything with a hand.
We know we can do it.
He can do it.
He can
It
do
was really
Yeah.
threatening to like
Mhm.
the cast at the time. We were like, oh no, like
Yeah,
we're
a
not.
lot of
He's probably
Once you
a lot of passive
Once you saw
aggressive
that,
comments.
fucking game over.
yes.
Yeah.
Andrew Dismukes is coming for you.
People were like, "Great job, Andrew! Wow!" I could sense the
Mm-hmm. You're so talented.
really great
Yeah.
turn on the show, Andrew. Mhm.
Andrew, where are you right now?
I'm in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, chilling.
I actually don't know why I asked you that because I actually knew that because I sent you something.
That's
Did
correct.
you get it?
I did. Should
Oh,
I
that's
I pull them
right.
out?
And I also sent you something, Justin.
Yes.
It's our candy
Mm-hmm.
of the podcast. Justin, you're gonna open yours.
I'll wait till he gets
Okay.
his open to
Yeah.
reveal mine.
All right, let me see what I got here. Okay, I've got some poppets.
Didn't send you that.
That's
Some American flags.
No,
whoa.
didn't send you that either.
Okay, what's going on here?
Like America hats?
No. No, I
Is
don't
it-
know what
Are we doing? Is this the like
Wow.
Independence
Uncle
Day?
Sam person sent.
USA?
No, didn't send
Door
you
hanger?
any.
Okay.
No, July 4th. Anything.
Amazon.
Patriotic.
Oh, gobstoppers.
Yes. Chewy
Oh,
gobstoppers.
Chewy gobstoppers.
Okay, we all have them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Andrew, when you got chewy
I have
gobstoppers,
4 of them.
yeah, that was the least amount I could get on Prime. So between the three of
Yeah.
us, we have 12 packs of chewy gobstoppers.
And do we have to get through all of these on the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. That actually
Jesus.
is a rule now.
Wow.
Now,
So start eating.
Andrew, when you opened this and realized the candy that you'd be consuming on the podcast was chewy gobstopper, what was like your first thought?
My first thought was I didn't know that there were not chewy gobstoppers. I don't know. I've never really had gobstoppers.
Mhm.
But it's nice to know I'm going to get to experience the chewy variety.
Okay, wait. So you didn't know there were gobstoppers, period?
I know in Willy Wonka, there's like the thing that they want to get, or the spy guy is like, I got to get the everlasting gobstopper, but I didn't know they were a real, actual thing. I've never had them.
Oh my God. So this
Whoa.
is huge. And I was worried, like right before the podcast. I don't know why I wasn't worried, but I was like, you know what? Andrew's younger than me, and chewy gobstoppers really aren't like a thing anymore or popular.
Yeah. My first reaction was, okay, Grandma.
Yeah.
Give me
This really is a generational thing.
Fun Dip was my generation. Just
No, see,
sugar.
I think Fun Dip was my generation.
It
Fun
honestly
Dip was
probably
like
both.
my generation. Are you kidding me? Like
It's tough to
Fun
say.
Dip is like eternal.
I'm trying to remember
I
what
think
You know,
you-
it has its lasting power. The
Mhm.
Fun Dip.
I feel like your generation, Andrew, was like, oh my God, like toxic waste or
yeah, lots of like, you probably Warheads probably
Yes.
were a thing.
Warheads, yes,
Yeah.
warheads.
Yes.
Painful candy was really our
Mhm.
thing.
Sour, painful candy.
Mhm.
You know what? Don't. That's the thing, man. We had it too.
Yeah.
They just kept on repackaging it. They
Jump-
put it in different
Mhm.
things.
Hot tamales, y'all ever eat those?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Love hot tamales.
Amazing.
See, I can't do them. They just legitimately hurt.
Wow.
Really?
I can't
Cinnamon.
do the cinnamon.
You
no.
are you not a cinnamon guy?
a little bit, but not that much.
I'm disappointed. You're from Texas
I'm sorry.
I would have thought
and you can't.
Texas boy
I would be like-
loves hot candy.
Double hot,
Mhm.
triple hot tamales.
Well, I'm a fraud.
Does it?
I'm from
doesn't
Connecticut.
always work out.
I'm not even from Texas.
I
Oh,
knew
wow.
it. You look so much more Connecticut.
Yeah,
than Texas.
that's right.
Okay, so you didn't know what they were. Now you're eating chewy gobstoppers. What do you think?
I like them a lot. There's kind of
Mm-hmm.
feels like there's an interior kind of powder or something
Mm-hmm.
that you kind of get to. It's kind of a
Yeah.
Skittle, but a little different kind of feel than a Skittle.
Yeah, I like that
Definitely.
description. The green one, I don't know if you've gotten a green one yet, Andrew, but that's kind of like the hot ticket item in chewy gobstopper. That's the big deal.
So they are different.
That's the
flavors.
banger.
Yes. You just made me question in my mind if they were different flavors, but they definitely
kinda
are.
Are
They're kinda
Skittles
difficult
different
Skittles.
flavors? Are Skittles different flavors?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are. Definitely.
See, I feel like I've never noticed.
We're
I know
just,
there
like,
are different
expanding
flavors.
Andrew's
Yeah,
horizons tonight.
I wasn't allowed to. I was a very sheltered child.
Sheltered
they let
from
you have
candy
candy?
or everything?
Everything, including candy.
Okay.
hmm
But you know what you weren't sheltered from?
Oh, is this a
Movies.
transition?
Movie.
It's a seamless. It's our patented seamless segue.
How long have
Okay.
you been trying to find a transition? How long have we been bullshitting and you've been
Yeah, like about 3 minutes.
nice?
I was
Killer.
just waiting for my.
You
So
got
that's my job. That is my function
it.
on these particular podcasts. You know, it's to facilitate. Just
Right.
Let's
Guys,
keep it going.
we have an
keep it
agenda.
moving.
So
Yeah.
Well, I'm upset. I understand why it's your job now, Justin, because I've been so bad at it. But I actually had in the show notes, my transition was, and it's written here right out, and I'm going
Let's
to
do
read
that.
it.
wow.
I'm
Let's
going
do
to
it.
read it. And then Andrew, you can decide which one was better.
Cool.
Mine was, okay, well, I could chew on these gobstoppers all night, but how about instead we chew on some film? How's that sound, guys?
Well, that's obviously superior to what, but in some ways, Justin found it organically, and so there's merit to
Yeah.
that.
I would argue that is inferior.
But simultaneously,
Objectively.
you know, I'm not somebody.
Objectively, I think you're being nice to her.
She
I
put
think
more
you're-
work into it than you did. You fly by the
she
seat of
did.
your pants, whereas
She did.
prepared.
I put a lifetime of work into finding those moments.
Mhm.
You know, so that I can just like.
I think
get
if
there,
you're
but-
if
but
you're more of
okay.
a writer, you like hers. If you're more of a performer, you like yours. That's what I say.
like that.
I like that compromise.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And we could even go so far as saying if you're more of a bad writer, you would like mine.
And if you're more of a bad performer, you like mine.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
But speaking of good performers, Andrew has come
Yeah.
on the show to talk to us about some of his favorite Where We Were wins. We have a special one for the second pick, but
Mhm.
first of all, we're going to go en natural. Right off the top, Andrew, what is your first Where We Were when pick?
My first pick is a little film known as Austin Powers in Goldmember.
Ooh.
We
Yep.
familiar? Yeah.
Yeah, very, very
Love it.
familiar.
So where do y'all
Um,
feel like it ranks on the Austin Powers in the pantheon of Austin Power movies? Where is it for you guys? I assume you're all massive Austin
like it.
Powers fans.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, come on. I mean, you don't even have to ask that question.
So where do y'all put it?
I love it because it is so. I think I like it the best because Goldmember stores and eats his own skin.
Mhm. That
Like,
puts it,
I think
that
the
puts it
fact
over the
that-
top.
That puts it over the top because Michael Myers.
The murderer.
Michael
I
Myers.
knew
the
that he.
Halloween murderer.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Michael. Wait, Mike Myers.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike. Okay, well, okay. What him and I are. It's Michael between the two of us.
Gotcha.
Y'all
Yeah,
are
for
not
sure.
friends. He
You
does
know.
not let you call him Mike.
He does
says,
not.
Please call me Michael.
After I gave him notes on the Love Guru, he just
Ooh.
he doesn't return my calls. But No, I think that he just knew he was going to slip that in,
Mhm.
right? You know, this idea of like somebody actually eating their own skin.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just that's what I remember most about that. But I do like it because it is so weird.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's like I want to say The Spy Who Shagged Me number 2 is
Right.
my favorite, but the amount of I was a freshman in college when Goldmember came out, and the amount of fat bastard quoting that was going on in the dorms,
Get in my belly!
especially
Yes.
in my room alone, a lot of I'm dead sexies.
Oh, look at my titties.
That might take it to the top for me. Is it number 1 for you, Andrew?
I don't know if it's
Out of the
number
3?
1, but it's certainly the most memorable for me. For me, my as Justin's biggest the thing he likes most about it is the skin eating. For me, it's the fact that Beyonce Knowles is in it. It's the fact that Beyonce is in Goldmember. I mean, I think that's how can you not put that as probably the top Austin Powers movie for that reason alone?
Yeah, and it's something that I feel like we often forget
Yes.
that Beyonce is in Goldmember.
I'd say most of watching Goldmember is going, holy shit, is that Beyonce? Like, whoa,
It is.
Beyonce's.
Now-
Is that pre Jay-Z? Is that pre Jay-Z?
Had to be.
I don't know there.
It had to be, right? Yeah, it was like she's like, but I mean, you have to think like Goldmember was The Spy Who Shagged Me was just like it came out and it did like okay, and then on video, people discovered it on video,
Mhm.
and then the sequel just destroyed. I mean, it was like a
Well,
massive movie.
Sorry,
so Goldmember was
Justin,
like a
I'm going to be Austin Powers Police. International Man of Mystery was the first one. And then Spy Who Shagged
it wasn't
Me was
Austin
second.
Powers Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. No, yeah, I'm sorry. So
I
well,
have
whatever the
to-
first one was,
I
right?
can't let that go.
Yes, thank you.
Called out.
Thank you. But like it didn't like destroy, right? It was like it was a moderate success. But the second one like just really was big. And so Goldmember was like that was like a big movie that
Mhm.
was coming out at
Yeah.
that time. Like I remember that was a first night packed Cinemark,
You saw it in
Movie.
theaters.
you know. Oh yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
The crowd
Yeah.
must
I
have been
also-
electric.
Yeah. I mean, it was packed, like a big like 500 seat theater was packed.
Of excited. Andrew, how old were you when it came out?
It came out in 2008,
2.
correct? 2002 is when Goldmember came out?
Yes.
Let me Google this right quick.
Uh-oh.
I didn't see it in
I'm
theaters.
pretty sure. Wait. I'm pretty sure it came out in 2002, but I
Goldmember.
think it did.
All right, we're going to figure this out. Austin Powers
2002.
Goldmember 2002.
2002.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I don't
Oh.
remember seeing it right away. Specifically my memory is not in a theater. My memory is I guess I was in like 5th grade maybe, so like 2005, 2006.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And we like rented it. It was one of those movies that like when rentals was still a thing, like there's a movie rental place right by our house called Movie Land. We rented
good name.
Goldmember. Yeah. And I watched it like 30 times. Fell asleep to the DVD menu, that kind of movie.
Oh. And the
Had you
first
seen-
time, sorry. The
No.
first time
Go ahead.
you watched it, were you by yourself?
The first time I watched it, I was with my older brother and we were at the beach with my family. We like rented a beach cabin for a week and we watched it on our PS2. And
Whoa.
yeah. And we had to like figure out the parental lock on our PlayStation or something like that. We had to like break the password because it wouldn't let us watch like I guess a PG-13 movie.
Nice.
So we were
lock.
like trying to guess
Sony. Thanks a lot, Sony.
I think my parents like put it on, and we like had to figure out how to get past it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty easy to figure out.
It was probably your name and your brother's name.
I think it was like maybe one of our birth years or something like that. It was something like
Oh.
There
nostalgic and sentimental, and we were like, those dumbasses. They had to pick something meaningful that we could guess.
Now, Justin, I think I know what you were just about to ask before I cut you off. Do you remember?
No.
I remember. And it's a good
Okay.
question. Had you seen number 1 and number 2
That's
before
it.
you?
I hadn't. No, this was my
Oh.
introduction to the Austin Powers universe. Was Goldmember.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
going out of order. Because
Right.
usually it means that you like the one you saw first the most,
For sure.
which I think is fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which the first episode, we actually I think it was Back to the Future 3,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. For me, Back to the Future 3 might as well have been Back to the Future 2 because I didn't even know there was a Back to the Future 1. I saw Back to the Future 2 first and was like, yeah, oh, this is a perfect movie. This rules. So then I see this Western Back to the Future and I'm like, yeah, I want to see the second one. I don't know why it says 3, but I want to see the sequel.
That is the sequel.
Yeah.
That was the sequel to you.
And then I think I've also brought up that I saw Ghostbusters 2 first, and then Ghostbusters, and then I thought Ghostbusters was boring compared to the second one. And I saw Spaceballs before Star Wars, and I think Spaceballs is better than Star Wars.
That's a little
And
different. That's not exactly the same thing of seeing the sequel
it?
first.
But it's pretty much the same, I think.
Were you like mad that Star Wars wasn't funny? Were you like, I thought this was a comedy series?
Yeah, I was just a little bit. I was expecting things to happen that happened in Spaceballs. Like I got that like Jabba the Hutt was supposed to be Pizza the Hutt, but I was
Right.
like, Pizza the Hutt's so much more funny and effective. And then like, and I was a little bit like, well, who's Barf? Like I knew that there was R2D2 was C3PO was Joan Rivers, and I guess Barf is supposed to be R2D2. I don't know. I just Spaceballs
No,
is
Barf
better.
is supposed to be
Barf is
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Oh. Okay.
Get out.
So you were like, Matt, you felt like the Spaceballs characters were better versions of the Star Wars characters.
Yes, I really think Joan Rivers as C3PO is the gold thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
looks
yeah.
cooler.
The gold thing. the amount of credibility just pew, pew, pew.
And I think Pizza the Hut, like I said, looks nastier than Jabba the Hutt. And sometimes I'll ask Zeb, I'll be like, who would you, if you had to have sex with either Pizza the Hut or Jabba the Hutt, who would you pick?
And
So
he
that
says,
question goes to both of you as well.
I guess Jabba, yeah. I mean, pizza is definitely nastier.
Yeah.
I just remember, I'm not going to answer the question.
Okay.
I'm not going to dignify it. It's interesting that you
But,
regularly ask him that. Has he not answered you
Yeah.
yet? He's holding out.
I just feel like he might change his mind. He usually holds out as Justin's doing right now, but I think he answered one time and it was like definitely Jabba. And I think I thought like, well, Jabba probably has a private part, in my opinion. And
He
Pizza
can
the
do
Hut-
something.
Yes.
Jabba can do something.
Yes.
Pizza can't.
I think pizza, you would just be fucking cheese and
Right.
grease.
You're like, at least.
Well, do you
Jabba-
remember that scene? Do you remember that scene where the one guy like just starts eating him?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's what, I think like that alone, that's the scene that I remember from Spaceballs the most. when he's like, "You're delicious, boss," and he just is like the guy who's like, all silver, is just eating him, and like
Yes.
Pizza the Hut's, so excited somebody's eating him. That felt kind of like upon repeat viewings as an adult, that does feel very sexual.
I did have on a similar note. I was coming back from a Boy Scout camp out one time, and I was one of those kids who would just like quote movies like without even really setting up or giving context to what the joke was. Like I would just say it and then be like, "Y'all remember that? It's funny."
So
right?
you were popular.
Yes. Yeah. As I
is
was
what you're
coming
saying.
back
You're
from this
very
Boy
popular.
Scout camp out quoting Spaceballs.
Right.
Yeah. Obviously.
Hey,
very
Andrew,
cool.
could you throw out some more Spaceballs quotes? It's like
Yeah.
all day, my friends, all day.
Out of context, we don't know who's saying it to who or what happened to lead up to it. And you don't even really preface it with, y'all remember in Spaceballs when he said this? You just kind of say it.
Right? You just start saying things.
On the way back, I said the line, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like when the Mega Maid thing.
She's gone from suck to blow.
And I didn't really know, as a kid, I didn't know what the joke of it was, but my brother laughed at it. So I was like, it's something about sex. And I said it in the back of like my scout leader's car. And he like turned around and he was like, I don't get it, Andrew. What's the joke? What's the joke? Like he was like mad at me for making a sexual joke. He's like, I don't get it. He was mad.
Was this like a slightly religious scout leader too?
I mean, I think he was religious, but that wasn't like his vibe. But he was like,
Okay.
he was like, a Texas like stern disciplinarian type guy. On another Boy Scout trip, he had bought a new truck. I told him how nice his truck was, and then at a gas station, I got like a slice of pizza to eat, and he like kind of freaked out on me for bringing pizza into his truck. And he did kind of a similar thing where he was like, "Oh, hey, I like your truck. I'm gonna bring pizza." And he was like making fun of me for choosing to bring pizza in his truck. After I said
Just
how
the
nice it was,
were you confused, like, or did you actually get the passive aggressive subtext?
it was full aggressive. It was
full. It was Texas aggressive.
Oh yeah, and I was like fully. I was terrified. It had not occurred to me that it would be wrong of me to get a slice of pizza, but I was like, "I'll be careful. I won't get it on anything."
He just pushes you straight to the brink. Speaking of brink.
Jesus.
Oh no.
Wow. Heidi, did you have one? You had an alternative transition? Because that's easy to beat, I feel like. No offense.
Mine was going to be all right. So the second where we were waiting for Andrew is, and then have you say mine that wasn't written. I actually did not prep that at all.
Wow.
So Justin wins that one.
Hey, listen, when we get into the second story about the scout leader dressing you down, I think it's time to move on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
My memory of Goldmember was just kind of that I watched it. So it's good to move on. And I felt like y'all sensed
I love that.
I felt like y'all sensed that, oh, he doesn't really have a strong story here. So let's move on. It's okay.
I did have one question. I think, Justin, your transition was a little too fast. Because I did have a question.
That's fine. That's fine. We can back up.
We can always do that BRINK transition again.
Yes.
I'll pull it out.
It'll appear again, I promise. Now, when you said that you were in 5th grade when you saw Goldmember, because this is going to just help to get me to know you more, which I think is just going to be better for work and comedy. And even though we've known each other for 4 years.
But we're icy in the hallways to each other. It's like fully not acknowledging.
It's very unsupportive. Okay, so you're in 5th grade, so you're probably like 11 years old. Is that?
Yeah, probably 10, 11.
Okay, and I'm getting a little bit of, you told the Boy Scout story that you're the type who's always quoting movies without context.
Yes.
I would just like to know a little bit more about 10 and 11-year-old Dismukes, like maybe a little bit of what your room looked like. Did you have a frog, a lizard, just some of that stuff?
My room's theme was animal. And yeah, which mostly was just my mom painted my walls green, and I had like one blanket that was tiger print.
Yes.
And for a while, that was kind of my thing. I was like, my thing is I like animals, which is a very original like kid thing to have. And my mom was like, maybe you should be a vet. So she was really pushing me.
Right, a zoologist.
Yeah, like as soon as a child is like, I like animals, their parents are like, well, that could be
Ooh.
your career.
Yeah. Yes.
So my room
That's
was
true. They don't even want to question it. They just want
Right.
to just push you straight into something that you like.
yeah, kids like animals.
Oh,
So it doesn't
finally.
mean everybody needs to be a
Yeah.
vet. But yeah, and then I had a Dirk Nowitzki poster because at that time
Nice.
I am a Houston Rockets
Mm.
fan, but at that time, at that age, I really liked Dirk. So had a Dirk poster.
That's sick.
And then
So
I
Dirk-
quoted. Oh, what was that?
I'm just like seeing it in my head right now, like bright green walls, tiger print comforter, and a
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki poster.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that, like I want that set. I want to turn a room into that. That is like a
Mhm.
really good visual in my head.
It was a vibe. It was a full vibe.
That's a classic Texas kid room
Mhm.
right there.
My sister's room was polka
Because
dots.
he's with the Mavs, right?
Yeah, he's with the
Ooh.
Mavs. Was with the Mavs.
Okay, yeah.
So my
And your
mom kind
sister
of
was
gave us
polka
themes.
dots.
Yeah, she
That's
like
cute.
let us do theme rooms, but was like, I'm not going to put a ton of money into making the theme happen. So polka dots and animal was our theme.
Okay.
So wait, you were animal
Mhm.
and your sister's was circles.
Yes, circles.
It was just that was her
Mhm.
thing. That's like that was the vibe was just
Yep.
circles. That's what your mom went with.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder what her career could have been if she was into circles. It could have been like
Mhm.
like a something in math, like wasn't like a protractor or
Sure.
so.
Sure.
Yeah, a
Circles.
math teacher.
Yeah,
Circles.
geometry.
Yeah, geometry.
You know it's a circle.
Don't
Oh.
you dare.
A skate wheel.
Mhm.
I thought you were gonna say a rink.
And you know it sounds like
Oh
ring.
well, there it's not really. Yeah, that's good, but it's not a roller rink's a little bit of a different thing. Like it's a different vibe than the movie that we're about
Wow.
to talk about.
So that's why you decided to go
Yeah.
with this one instead.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to get into it in a different
Nice.
way. And I see that I've failed. But if we can just have some very awkward silence and then we can move on to the
Sure.
next movie.
I'm ready if you guys are.
Great. Yeah. Justin, you good?
You guys ready?
I mean, if you guys want.
All right.
Yeah,
Are you
that's fine with me.
we could go. Okay.
So
Hey.
we got kind of lucky with your second pick, Andrew, and Justin was smart enough to pick up on the fact that we should have you on the show because you actually had a weekend update this season that was all about, most of it was about watching this movie. What is it?
It is the Disney Channel original movie BRINK.
Yeah, we got some brink heads in the house.
I cannot believe people here have seen Brink.
DCOM. Excuse me. DCOM, as they are.
You didn't
No,
throw
I'm
it
not
away.
I'm not going to swallow it. I'm in my house.
Yeah.
No.
That's the first burp we've ever had on this show. Thanks.
That
It's
was
awesome.
I blame the gobstoppers. They're brand new to
Yeah.
them.
They are having an effect on me.
You're
But yeah.
drunk.
I'm fucked up, you guys. Got some gobstoppers on my floor. Yeah, I watched the Disney Channel original movie BRINK with my great grandmother.
And her name was Old Mama?
Old Mama, not Old Mama. Old Mama. MAWMAW.
Mom.
Old Mama. Old Mama.
Old wait. Did you call her old
no,
mama?
we called her old mama.
It was very different.
Old, but it was still old. Like the word old was in there.
but functionally it was OL apostrophe. It was old most of the time it was old mama, you know.
Old.
Like Old Miss, the college.
Old mama. All right.
Yes.
Well, I guess this is my life now.
Yep.
Okay, I'll be okay with being known as old
It was
mama.
I think about it now, and she frequently did ask us not to call her that. And it never
She
stopped.
did?
Was it
Yeah,
okay?
she
I was
frequently was like, "Don't call me that. I'm not old." And then nobody ever thought to do what she asked of us.
If I could get up off this sofa, I'd punch you in your face.
Andrew, before we get into BRINK that you watched with old mama, I have to tell you this because of the disrespectful name of calling her old mama and her not wanting it. One of the reasons why I feel like I liked you so much from the start is because the stories you have remind me a lot of like just the trash sometimes that Justin and I grew up in. And
Right on.
our Bampo, that's our grandpa, our Bampo, he had
Yeah, I gave him that name.
Bampo?
I gave him
Yeah.
Bampo.
That's insane.
Because I probably could not pronounce grandpa.
So
Yeah. And they just didn't correct it.
Bampo was always like working on his cars. There were always cars in the backyard, and he would hire these like mechanics for like dirt cheap. And for like a couple,
Mechanic is a loose word. Somebody who like potentially knew how to fix some
Yes.
engines. The mechanic is a very generous like
but
term.
for probably like
drug addicts who knew how to fix a
tinker.
carburetor.
yes, our backyard was always riddled with drug addicts who could tinker on cars. One of them, the most influential one for Justin and us, was a very dirty man that our Bampo just called Pig.
No. It wasn't that he called him Pig. Called himself Pig because he was so dirty.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm Pig. I'm Pig. Yeah, he called himself Pig because he was filthier than Pigpen on the Peanuts, right? Like he had a cloud of filth. His fingers were always like at all times were covered in oil or something.
Wow.
And I was like,
and he was
I remember being like 8 years old, and Mamo and Bampo would be like, "Why don't you play in the yard?" And I was like, "'Cause Pig's out there. I don't want to be around." And because they had an above ground pool, and so they're like, "Go swimming." I'm like, "I am not swimming in front of Pig."
Well,
No.
Pig is around. I'm not swimming around Pig. Mamo
Like,
and Bampo said that Pig's out. Mamo and Bampo said Pig's outside. Insane.
Yes. Yeah. So
I will say I connect with you, but that is another level of Mamo, Bampo, and Pig is a level that I'm a little bit like, what is going on? What was the situation?
I have to defend the living a little bit because Mamo wasn't a big fan of Pig being around.
She was not pro Pig
in any vicinity. Bampo was the guy who, apparently ran like a prostitution ring, or like, so he was like, or it wasn't that. Didn't he run like a flop house that was like a brothel back in the day? He claimed that. He claimed that. Yeah, he claimed
to you
it.
as a child.
I don't know if it was true or not.
Another day.
But
working
he
at the brothel. Anyway, Pig's outside.
He also
Be careful,
claimed
y'all.
to have
Watch out
right.
for Pig.
He also back in the day when apparently you got angry with your employer, this guy tried to take his tools away from him, so he stabbed him with an ice pick through his hand into the desk and then punched him while his hand was attached to the desk. These were the stories that we grew up with. I mean, our Bampo was not to be fucked with back in the day. Like
for real, don't mess with
yeah,
Bampo.
he had a temper. Don't mess with Bampo. So, but he was a gentle soul.
No, he wasn't.
But you know what? He'd seen some shit. He'd seen some shit.
Stuck an ice pick through a guy's hand and punched him. And you're like, he was sweet.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I think that he was a very
I'm
gentle
sure.
man. But then with that came people.
There's two sides of Bampo.
Like he just
Yes.
yeah. Oh, there absolutely. We did not see.
The
full
mirror
Bampo.
has two faces with
Wow.
Bampo.
That's right.
So that's all to say. It's like I kind of get the old mama
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, but
Right.
ours is different. Okay, so you watched Brink with old mama and remind me how old she was at the time.
Who at the time she was probably like 93, 94, somewhere around there. Up there.
Okay.
She made it. I think she made it to 100. I really can't remember. But at a certain point when I was like, how old is old mama? They were just like, she's up there. Was kind of
A lot.
the vibe.
She's a lot.
Yeah.
And did you watch Brink? Were you at her house when you watched it?
Yeah, so there was kind of a thing we used to have to do with old mama where like every month or so my mom would be like, all right, we got to go sit with old mama. And it was just kind of like, she didn't want us there. There were no activities. We were infringing on her space. But like there was like some obligation that like every family, every aunt, uncle at some point had to like take their kids over to sit at old mama's house and just kind of spend time with her. And I think when I watched Brink, my mom was like cleaning up around the house or something. It was just me, my mom, and old mama. And she was off cleaning house somewhere. And I was like fully disassociating, like trying to just watch Brink, like not having fun hanging out with old mama.
Right.
And she just kept like chiming in with questions about Brink that I was like, you're not going to understand? One, because you haven't been paying attention. Two, because it's not accessible for you, okay?
Wow.
She was very confused by the concept of Disney Channel and Disney Channel original movies. She was very confused that we were watching a movie that was made for TV on Disney Channel, but it wasn't Disney. Like it wasn't a Disney movie, it was a Disney Channel movie. Was confusing for her.
That is confusing. That's a lot for my brain right
Yeah.
now.
I respect that.
I totally
respect that
get it.
perspective.
I totally get it, but it's not my job to educate her, you know?
Exactly.
She can figure these things out.
Yes. So what were some of
Apparently
No.
she couldn't, Andrew, because she was asking an 11-year-old.
do you have examples of just like some of the things she was asking about Brink? I mean, like
She did ask me if this was a thing, like the I guess rollerblade cruise. I don't fully remember what the situation was, but I think I remember vaguely that it was like there were like these rollerblade posses, that there was like a rich one and then a like not rich one.
The X-Boys. The
There you go.
X-Boys.
And
Yeah.
our hero was a member of the like average Joe's type, but he was good enough to be on the like rich guy one. So she was she was like, this is a thing. People are in rollerblading crews. And I was like, I don't think so. But for the movie, they are.
that's an advanced question. I kind of feel like she was kind of navigating.
She understood what was going
registering
on.
what was happening on the screen. It just
Mhm.
presented a world that was entirely foreign to her.
Yes.
Well, maybe she wanted to like expand her horizons,
Maybe.
and you just that day you just shut her down.
Yeah, I do regret it. I regret my decision. My actions were not respectful of my elders, being so frustrated as I was. But if I could go back, I'd do it different. I'd be
But
more
I
patient.
can empathize with that. I feel like any question that was asked from an elder about a movie, or I mean, because you were kind of always used to like a parent or a grandparent like not really approving of what you were watching. So
Right.
like I feel like the voice behind you, my response was always like, just like don't
Exactly.
worry about it. Just like, it was a lot of
Yeah.
stop. You won't care anyways. You don't like this kind of thing anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very
So I
much
get that.
her energy was kind of like judgmental, you know, a little bit of like,
Yeah.
this is a thing. So she had it coming. She deserved it.
She had her nose turned
okay.
up.
Yes.
Now that I hear that
She drowned in a
context,
rainstorm.
I changed my
something that they
opinion.
say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you picked up on that. You picked up on her just like her contempt for these.
Yes.
Even if this was a thing.
Because the thing was, is I also hadn't seen the movie before. So I was also trying to figure it out. I had a lot of the same questions she had, but I was I'm going to watch the movie and hopefully figure it out. Where she kind of thought that I would have some insight that I didn't.
I'm going to just take us back 30 seconds because I did a thing that I do a lot, especially around my older brother, where I hear something and I act like I know what it is and I don't. And so I'm going to be vulnerable right now because maybe someone listening doesn't know. What is she drowned in a rainstorm?
Okay. Yeah. Well, great, because we did kind of gloss over that. Like you said, her nose is turned up, so it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like she'd drown in a rainstorm because her nose is turned up, so like the rain would fall into her nose and she'd drown.
Mm-hmm.
She's got
I
her
knew
nose
that
turned
I
up.
had just said that, and then I knew you said that, and I tried to put them together, but instead of thinking literally like that, I was like, so she was like a snob that if she was out in the rain wouldn't know to go inside. Which doesn't.
No, that makes sense.
Oh.
That tracks. She's too fancy to have ever been in the rain before.
Yes.
So she drowns
because she
due to lack of experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she thinks that she's so important that the rain should stop for her, and it doesn't. And so
exactly. And maybe I'm wrong, and you're right. My understanding was always that they have their nose turned up, and so they drown. But maybe you're right.
I think that's a Texas thing. It's Texas
something.
thing. I've never heard that one, and we heard a lot. Bampo had a
can
lot
I
of
ask
them.
real quick, was Bampo something that you ever encountered another child having as the name of their grandparent? Was it a local thing at all?
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of like Mimis and Peepaws. Like that was kind of a lot of Peepaws was big where I'm from.
No, Bampo wasn't another thing.
Well, Justin,
I think it was just
no, because our family in Iowa stole
Jesus.
Well, Justin, that's not true.
I mean, I don't want to say they stole, but like Uncle Levon.
Well, you just said it twice.
Uncle Levon, his grandkids called him Bampo because I think they got Bampo from you, and they were like, "We like Bampo," but they didn't use Mammo for Aunt Shirley, but they used Bampo for Levon.
Okay, well, that rings a bell. I think I had just buried that deep down inside because it hurt so much. So I appreciate.
Did they give you any credit?
But no, I don't think so. I don't think so. So Jenny and Brandon.
No. I think it was more. Well, Jenny and Brandon, but I know Angie.
I think it was Jenny and Brandon because we didn't really have a lot of connection with Angie. We had more connection with Jenny and Brandon, and then Molly, Melissa, and Mandy.
Yep.
Yes. But I don't think that they really were like big. I think it was, now that you say it, I thought it was Jenny and Brandon.
I think it was Angie too,
but okay.
I mean, we fight a lot. It's okay. This is normal. Don't be scared, Andrew.
Yeah.
We're fine.
No, it's very tense, but I can navigate that.
Just the type of podcast experience you.
And if y'all need me to mediate anything, I'm available.
I mean, did that seem healthy to you, or?
No, Not at all.
Okay.
It seems like
Yeah.
y'all are in a pretty bad
It's not.
place.
It's not.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
really hope
Yeah.
that changes because I care about you guys.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what this is for. You know, weekly
Working stuff
session.
out.
You know, working it out.
Well, is there anything else that we should know about old mom? Well, actually, one thing I want to know, because I mean, I like nostalgia. I like old people. I like old houses. Was old mama's house like one of those ones that like was kind of cool to a kid? Like it was kind of fun to be there? Or was it one of those old houses where it was like everything's fancy around me? There's like nothing for children here. I do truly hate it here.
It was not
Mm.
fancy. Like it was like my grandma on my dad's side, who we call Honey, she had kind of that type of house, like a room that kids weren't allowed in with like really old furniture
Yes.
and stuff. And then my grandparents on my mom's side, Granny and Pappy, they had like the fun house because they had cable. My grandma was like real big into like off-brand sodas, so we always had like
Oh.
a bunch of sodas. Dr. B, a lot of Dr. B.
Ooh.
Twist Up,
Dr.
yeah. Dr. B
Dr.
was like
B,
an
what is
off-brand
Dr.
Dr.
B?
Pepper.
That's
Twist
what
Up
I
was an
figured.
off-brand. Yeah, I feel like it's obvious, but whatever.
No, I had to make you say it.
Twist Up was an off-brand like 7-Up Sprite thing. So they
Ooh.
had the fun house, and then old Mama's house was very like kind of a bummer to go to. Not a lot of fun stuff for kids, and very much a like, okay, yeah, one old lady lives here for sure. Was kind of the
Yeah.
energy of the house.
This is it. There's not going to be a lot
There's
of toys.
definitely, yeah,
at this
just
house.
one old woman here. No mistaking that.
Whose mother was she? Was she
No,
Honey's
she was
mother?
Granny's mother.
She was Granny's
Mhm.
Granny's
mother.
mother.
So you got when I heard Honey, I was like, how did she nail that one? Like that's like the best.
I believe it was a request. I believe
That's
she
the best name for
she
it.
like
she got out
yeah,
in front
old
of it.
Mama was assigned to her forcefully. And then Granny and Pappy, I think, were both organically given to them by like one of the grandkids. But Honey
Okay.
was like out the gate, I want it known that I'd like to be called Honey. And
Oh.
any attempt to call me something else will not be recognized.
That's how you
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
do it. You got to do it that way. You know, like that's I love that name.
Yeah, it's
Honey.
great.
That's really good.
Like that is like a great
Honey and
grandma
Pop.
name.
That was my paternal
and
grandparents.
Pop.
Honey and Pop.
Oh,
Cute.
so good.
Yeah.
So good. The cutest
They
couple.
were adorable.
Just because I'm curious, do you, in your opinion, is Dr. P? Wait, it's Dr. B, right?
Dr. B. Yeah. There's also
Dr. B.
Dr. Thunder, which is another off-brand.
Right. Dr. Thunder, I know. Dr. Thunder, I know.
Do you think Dr. B, because you kind of grew up with it, do you prefer it to Dr. Pepper?
I think I prefer Mr. Pibb to Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But I do like I like all of them, but I like Dr. B. I'd say Dr. Pepper is probably better than Dr. B, but Mr. Pibb is probably superior to Dr. Pepper.
I can't conjure Dr. Pibb right now. Like, what is Dr. Pibb? Or no, Mr. Pibb. What is Mr. Pibb? Like,
it's like, I think the flavor that they use, the term that they refer to it as spicy cherry
Mm-hmm.
is like the flavor description, but
okay.
it's like Dr. Pepper. Whatever
Yeah.
you think Dr. Pepper is what
But it's
Pibb-
weird.
Mr. Pibb is.
I agree. It's better. It's like
and that's Pepsi's version, right? Pepsi's
I
version.
guess,
of
I
like
think
a
so.
Coke's version.
Okay. No, Coke, Dr. Pepper, Coke owns Dr. Pepper.
'Cause there's
And there's also a Texas version of Dr. Pepper that's like a separate Dr. Pepper. It was a complicated thing. Like I remember hearing this.
because Pepsi
Well-
had Tab, right? Was that its Dr. Pepper, or was Tab a different thing?
Tab cinnamon.
Tab was its diet.
Okay.
No.
Tab was the diet
No.
drink. Tab was
No, it
diet.
wasn't. Tab was cinnamon flavored.
I'm pretty
There
sure.
might have been a diet tab, but
Uh,
the reason
Was it RC Cola? RC Cola. We'll have to. We're gonna have to.
I know. I'm
we're gonna have
doing a little on the
research
fly
this.
because, yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. No. Pepsi is Dr. Pepper and Coke is Mr. Pibb. And the reason I know that is because McDonald's had Mr.
Okay.
Pibb and Coke.
Mr. Pibb. That's
Wow.
right. You're
So.
right. I'm wrong.
Hi, I'm Catherine Coleman, editor and self-appointed head of research at Where We Were When, here to correct the gross amount of misinformation you've received over the past 61 seconds. Dr. Pepper is its own thing. It is not a Coke product nor a Pepsi product. It's just Dr. Pepper. Confusion comes into play because in various parts of the world it is distributed by Coke or Pepsi, but it is not a product of either one. It's actually currently part of a conglomerate that includes Keurig, 7-Up, and Snapple. Now, Pibb Extra is a Coke product, and it is their competitor to Dr. Pepper. Pepsi does not have a competitor to Dr. Pepper because no one really cares. Tab was a Coke product, and it was their first ever attempt at a Diet Cola, but it was discontinued last year. All of this is just here to say that Dr. Pepper is the superior product, and Heidi and Andrew are objectively wrong. So, back to the show.
Another fight.
That was,
Working
that
it
was a
out.
beautiful moment, honestly.
Just
He
working it out.
acknowledged that he was wrong.
That's right.
You know? It's big.
Yeah. I should acknowledge that too. Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, I think now that we've fought twice, it's probably naturally coming to an end because tensions are high. And
Mm-hmm.
so one thing that we do on this show, Andrew, is after we talk about our Where We Were in movies, which is in the past, we like to bring things current and talk about what we're into right now. Lately, on all the episodes that have come before you, we have been, I guess what you could say, another theme of the show today, bad writers. And I've literally just been saying, what are you into right now? Our segment is called What Are We Into? What are you obsessed with? But we're debuting a new title of this segment tonight.
Exciting.
Yeah. And I think, Justin, you should do it because it was your idea. And I think it's a great title for this.
The new title for the segment that used to be called What Are You Into? Or What Are You Obsessed With? Is That's So Raven.
Yes.
That's so Raven.
That's a great. Where and
Anything that you love, anything that's stylish, anything that is hip.
does it need to
Raven.
be movie oriented, or is it really anything on God's green earth?
Raven loves
Yeah.
everything, as long as it's so Raven.
Anything. Like examples that we've had in the past are, I even said a dip. I said tahini, like what I
Ooh.
dip my vegetables in. So it can
Yeah, that's how generic it can be.
be anywhere.
Okay, let me think for a second. I guess lately, it's gonna make me sound like a nerd, but playing a ton of Magic the Gathering, and I think it's gotten to be pretty cool.
Ooh.
I think people are starting to recognize it as like a cool thing.
Okay.
playing
Where are
Magic
you
together.
playing it?
I'm mostly playing it
Starting.
online. I made the mistake of like getting really into it right before the pandemic, and I bought a ton of cards online to like play with people.
Uh-huh.
And then the pandemic hit, every like in-person Magic the Gathering thing shut down, and I just spent like a embarrassing amount of money on a hobby I was getting into for the first time, an embarrassing amount of money. And I didn't get to use any of the cards. So I've been playing online mostly.
Now that the world's opening back up, do you think the only place I'm familiar with Magic the Gathering being played are sometimes when you walk by what appears to be a comic book store and it's like comics in the front and then there's that game room with like a folding table. Do you think you'll go to one of those shops?
I absolutely will.
Okay.
I think I have to get my money's worth out of
Nice.
these cards, and I'm excited to, become a part of the community.
And do you hope that you get recognized or stay unrecognized?
I hope it's like a thing of like, I don't really, but then one person is like on the sly, like, "Are you?" And I'm like,
Not
"I
here,
am."
dude.
But if people know that
Yeah.
the waiter from the bar sketch with Keegan Michael Key is here, it's gonna be madness.
Yes.
Fucking
So I'll play it
mayhem.
cool. I'm excited to get to play it cool. You know,
Yes.
that's gonna
I
be
like
exciting
that for
me.
you. Magic the Gathering. That's a really good one. And I feel like, I don't know, this segment is all to like possibly influence people a little. And while I'm not gonna play Magic the Gathering because I know my brain and I know I can't sustain all that comes with that game, I think you're gonna make some people play. At least one or two. Try it out.
I hope so. Post Malone plays it, so that's
Okay.
pretty cool. Something
Okay.
if you're a Post Malone fan,
Vin Diesel probably plays it.
probably.
He's a D&D guy.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So there you go. Some cool
Magic
guys.
the Gathering. Love it.
Right
Justin,
on.
what's your That's So Raven?
Oh, that's so Raven for me right now is we were talking before we got on the podcast about pandemic pets.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to give a shout out to my girlfriend who
Ooh.
has created an Instagram
He's in
account for our
love.
dog.
Somebody's in love.
That's right. Ha ha. Django the Chippin is an Instagram channel account that will change your
Aw.
life.
It's a
Django
Django the Chippin.
Django with a D. Yeah, Django the Chippin. A Chippin is a Chihuahua and a miniature pincher mix, and they are delightful. He's got a great little personality, and he's just a good-looking guy. He's just a good-looking little boay. Heidi can
Yeah,
attest.
it's my nephew. He's very photogenic and sweet and
Absolutely.
Oh wow.
He loves chasing squirrels and taking
Very
pics.
nice. This is your dog?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's a shelter dog too.
Beautiful.
We got extremely
Oh.
lucky. Yeah. Yeah. He was one of those. We went into the shelter and all of the little dogs were barking. And this guy was just hanging out. And I was like, I want to see that
Mhm.
guy because he's not barking when everybody else is going nuts. And he is just the chillest, coolest dog. So Django the Chip on Instagram. Check it out. That's what I'm into. And I'm really proud of Sarah because she almost has like 2,000 followers in like
Wow.
2
that's
months.
amazing.
So, you
He's
know.
very photogenic.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things. She was taking photos anyway, so I was like, okay, well, it's like maybe you should start Instagram, and she started it, and she's like super into it. So, I love you, baby.
Very sweet.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
People being sweet.
So Heidi, what is your That's So Raven this month?
Okay, I'm excited to talk about this because so mine's a TV show and the new season
Ooh.
just dropped. That show is Alone. Do you guys know Alone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's a wilderness survival reality show. This is something that I got into during the pandemic. I really never thought I would. So basically, Alone is like all these people get dropped off on like a remote island in Vancouver where it's like in the winter, it's freezing cold. They're alone, and it's like whoever outlasts each other, they only get to have like 10 items with them. And like they have to like hunt or fish for all their food or forage. Some people end up tapping out because they're starving. Some people like cut their leg open and have to go home. Some people just can't deal with being alone in their own thoughts for that amount of time. And it's the most interesting show in the world. It's so crazy who you think will like all these dudes that look like burly mountain men, you're always like, oh yeah, he's going to be the winner. And then like day one, he hears like one grizzly roar and is like out of there. Um, it's really incredible, like study of people. And I never would have, I'm like, I don't love the hunting aspect of it, but it is, I mean, when people have to eat, it is kind of thrilling when they catch something. Like the first season I watched, a guy caught a moose. Like it was crazy.
Insane.
Yes.
That's how we used to do it.
So the new season just started and I love it. And on like, I think it was the third season, there was a man on the show, Larry. He's probably not listening, but I just have to say this man was one of the ones who had never been alone, like in his whole life, like got married young, had a lot of kids. So this man would monologue about being alone. And I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't been cast in a movie. Like these were the best. I'm going to make a book of his monologues about isolation. They are, I mean, they'll bring you to your knees. Like it's the best. So I really hope that you guys go watch Alone and anyone listening.
Well, you showed me a little bit of this, I think about a year ago. And an important thing to, I think, note about this show is that they are alone. They give them cameras to set up, but that's it. Like there's nobody around them. So, it's like Naked and Afraid. You've seen those shows where it's like, oh, let's have a camera crew of all these people around. And the camera crew is like there, That's not the case here. They are completely abandoned.
And like that part sucks too. Like, I mean, I know you have all the time in the world when you're alone, but like these people have to like set up all their shots. And they're actually good looking shots by the end of it. And they're interesting and like, but that's just got to be another headache when you're starving.
It's also got to kind of drive you a little, like it's got to have a negative effect on your mental health where you're like constantly talking into a camera. Like I feel like you kind of spiral and stuff. Like
totally
tough.
Yeah. There's a lot of spiraling on the show. But yeah. That's so Raven to me.
I love it. We've got Magic the Gathering, we've got an Instagram handle, and we've got a quality TV show. 3 good forms of entertainment right there.
Yeah.
Can't be beat. Well, you know what time it is? It's time for our last segment, and it used to be my favorite segment. But Heidi and I had a talk, and considering Andrew that you're here, you guys are both on show. I used to like picture like a really good sketch, but we're not going to do that this time. But you told me that, you told me, I know, we can talk
DM
later.
me.
I've got some good ones for you. But Heidi, you told me as long as it's not sketch based, it's completely open.
I would just love to.
So I'd like
keep
to
my work out of it. So
yeah. Well, obviously Andrew's here, right? So you're keeping your work out of it.
That's because you tell me I should bring on,
but
like celebrities. So
wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's debatable.
Okay.
But so we agreed that like I could do a segment of my choosing.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd like to introduce a new segment this week, and it's called 75 Questions with Andrew Dismukes.
Okay.
What?
So
Wait a
this
second.
this
Like
segment,
the Vogue thing?
no. Sure. I don't even know. I don't read that magazine, but is there like
Vogue does that, but I think
75
it's
questions?
like 50 questions with. We've already done like an hour.
Well, this one's going to be 75.
Podcast, and you're talking about asking Andrew 75 questions. You should have done an hour ago.
I'm happy to answer.
This is going to be rapid fire. I mean, I don't. Well, we should probably like leave it up to Andrew. Like, I mean, like he's he's here. He's made some time. So
it's a little bit, it's a lot, but I'll do whatever you guys think is best. I'm a guest here. I don't want to ruffle any
there
feathers.
you go.
Well, I have to be honest, that's so cool that you allotted out more time than we've already done, but I don't even actually have that time.
Okay.
I actually
Of course
have plans tonight, so I just feel like I can't do 75 questions, Justin. As much as I would love.
Okay.
I mean, it's not, no offense, Andrew. I'd love to know the answers.
No, none taken.
So less than that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Considerably.
Okay. Okay. Well, then let me introduce a new segment that we've got. It's 7 questions with Andrew Dismukes.
And you have a graphic for that.
Pretty much between both those numbers. I just, I figured, you might have an issue with 75.
So you knew
you were ready
to do 75 and 7.
You know what? I was hoping that you'd go for the first, but I had this in my back pocket. So 7 questions. I promise they'll be quick. And 7 questions, like 7 minutes.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it'll be
cool.
Yeah. Okay. Real short, real quick
Great.
questions. So the first question, Andrew, that I have for you is, just tell me about your life.
Currently or all time? What are we talking here?
Just like starting from Texas, you grew up in
Mhm.
Texas, just you start there and just,
Okay.
just tell us who is Andrew Dismukes?
I was born.
Okay.
In,
I'm sorry. Sorry. I already know you were born in Houston, and then you had a Dirk Nowitzki phase or whatever when you were I already know all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is not an example of
Okay,
favorite
okay.
color. No. It's
I know it's blue. I already
Pretty
know.
brown.
I already know that it's blue. All right. So So I've done my research. But okay.
That's
So
true.
let's.
That's true, actually.
I'll cut it down.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
crazy.
yeah. If they're going
Yeah.
to be those questions,
So-
you should definitely cut it down.
Well, that question obviously isn't good. So introducing a brand new
Jesus Christ.
segment. 3 questions with Andrew Dismukes.
Wow. And then
He was
you've
prepared.
made another graphic.
You knew this wasn't going to go over well.
I know my sister.
Well,
So,
I know my brother,
like-
and I'm banking on the fact that I can almost guarantee that you made 100 graphics. I'm
Oh,
Well, I
wow.
made at least 75.
or 75. Sorry, yeah.
Well, no, I didn't make 75. I made 72 because I can't ask no questions. But yeah. So 3 questions.
Okay.
That's manageable.
Right?
That's manageable.
All right, let's do it. All right. So Andrew, these were at the tail end. This is how fast they were going to go. You're from Texas. Is there ever a good time to mess with Texas?
Not really. Next.
I thought so. Considering you're from Texas, do you have a favorite cow? Like a favorite type of cow?
Favorite type? I don't really know. I got to say, I am a UT Texas Longhorn, hook 'em horns. So I got to go with my man
Hook 'em,
Bevo.
honey.
Got to go with my man Bevo.
You just made our mom very
She a
happy.
UT fan?
Yeah.
She used to live in Austin, and she was like, "Honey, hook 'em,
Hook 'em.
honey."
She got a
Hook 'em.
longhorn tattoo.
Right on.
She got a longhorn
Yes.
tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
What?
It's on her thigh.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, I have not seen that.
You haven't seen mom's thigh lately?
Was it pre y'all's birth
No, I haven't
or
seen mom's thigh.
post y'all's birth?
No, this was post. This was like when in her late
Wow.
40s
50s.
or mid
Yeah,
50s.
50s.
Yeah, in her
longhorn
50s she got
tattoo.
this.
Wow. That's more power to
Legit.
you.
Legit. You met Ernie. Did you not meet
I
Ernie?
didn't fully meet her, but I saw her and and felt
You
her.
got the energy.
I experienced.
You got
experienced
the energy.
her.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get the Ernie energy.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a Care Bear. Third question. Final
Right.
question.
The end.
The end. Right. Well,
Sorry.
maybe.
We'll
So Andrew, like, I think that what would be really interesting is, like, this is a new segment, and I really like the title, 3 Questions with Andrew Dismukes. I think
It's
it's a really
very
catchy
catchy.
title. So it's magic. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have you on at the end of every show, 3 Questions with Andrew Dismukes, like
Okay.
every show.
Wait.
You're just a recurring. Yeah. So he's good.
I'm on board.
Okay,
I'm good. 2 against
Yeah.
1.
Andrew, I'm
So
sorry. I
think
did not know he was going to
we
ask
cemented
you
it.
that.
That's okay. I'm happy to do it. Honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Of course,
We
I'm
do
not doing
these
anything.
regularly.
I'm around. I'm available.
Okay.
I'm not really
Done.
doing anything all summer. So
He's playing Magic the
That's right.
Gathering and fixing his air conditioner back behind him. So, like, yeah. So he's available.
I would be honored.
Well, thank you.
I'd
Andrew.
honestly
I appreciate
be
it.
honored.
I'm glad you. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the segment. They're going to be better questions next time because I kind of got caught off guard by you know who.
Right.
Yeah.
So just to make this clear,
that is-
just so I know for the future
Mhm.
and like, because I've been doing a lot of the booking guests, we'll have a guest on. We'll do our last, like, That's So Raven segment. Then with the guest, we'll have Andrew on to do 3 Questions with Andrew Dismukes.
Yep. And the guest.
Yeah, so the
won't
guest is
talk.
gonna listen.
The guest will be quiet during that.
No, the guest can't talk
Good.
during that segment. The
That's
guest
the
is
only
just
way
gonna
I'll do
listen
it.
because, well, yeah,
Okay, well, that's
like there's no other way
So-
to
that's
do
good to
it.
know. That's good to know for me because I'm booking guests. So thank you.
I'm excited to see
For
what
that.
you come up with.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the questions.
There are going to be some, there's going to be some good ones. So welcome
Thank you guys
aboard.
for having
Wow.
me. Yeah.
Um,
Is there a pay thing? Any kind of
Yeah.
check that I can expect, or
Well, do you take Doge,
I don't know what that means.
like Dogecoin? Do you take, because like I've got like
I
a
don't
little
know
bit
what
of that.
I don't know
like,
how to handle that.
Other than Doge, like we don't.
Do y'all get paid in Doge?
I could.
for
I
this
can. I can
podcast?
set up. We pay in Doge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pay in Doge and we pay in SHIB. So Doge or SHIB, whichever one you want.
I'll talk to my guy and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. And then if
Set up a MetaMask. We can get you on easy transfer.
Okay.
and I'll just keep
Yeah.
sending you candy, I guess.
I'm excited.
Cool.
I'm gonna eat all of these.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, and I guess joining the Where
Yeah.
We Were When team.
Thanks
Welcome.
for having me.
Yeah, that's
And,
great.
Yeah. I'll see you guys next week, I guess.
Yeah, part of the
Right?
Yeah. See you next
The
week, next
family.
Monday,
Epic.
8 p.m. 8 p.m. In LA, it's going to be 6 p.m. your time. So
Cool.
yeah, well, I'll send you a
Great.
meeting maker.
cool. Great. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, I'm really excited about the show tonight. This is the first time we've had a guest on who I have not worked with and I'm not married to.
I don't work with him either, nor am I married to him.
Our guest tonight is my college friend and now lifelong friend, Jack Berry. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Heidi. Hi, Justin. Thank you guys for having me. I am married, but not to either of you.